If you ever want to be able to capture your dream life, if you ever want to be able to get all the things you say you want, then you have to become the person that can handle it. But not just become, but you also have to kill the old you. A lot of people become what it takes to be able to reach their goals, but they're not able to sustain that because they haven't killed the old version of themselves. And so whenever things go wrong, they may have became a person or a type of person that can achieve their dreams or at least be on that path, but they can't sustain the consistency to get there because the moment things go wrong, the moment things get uncomfortable, the moment someone does something unpredictable, or the moment someone comes back to your life, whatever it may be, you end up falling back on that old version of yourself that isn't capable, that isn't the person that can achieve your dreams and goals. So what's super important is to understand these things will happen. There will be curveballs in life. There will be things that pop up back in your life, whatever that is, whether that's a person, results, whatever it may be. These things will pop back up in your life, but you have to have your old version of yourself killed. It's not there anymore, so you can't even go back to it, okay? And I think it's super important to be able to have this because if not, you will always fall back on the person you used to be. But here's what I need you to know, okay? Whenever you're going through this process of killing the old version of yourself, it's one of the most taxing things, okay? Your soul will feel it, okay? Killing old you equals pain. Lots of pain, especially in your soul. Well, I need you to know the process of killing the old you is not a fun experience. It's not fun at all. Your whole soul feels it, okay? You can feel prior habits, prior things that were core versions of who you are, your foundations being evaporated, being killed. This is not a fun process. Even though it's training you, it's making you become, it's allowing you to sustain, it's allowing you to become the person that can achieve your dreams. It's not a fun process, okay? It's not a fun process to change who you are because your soul literally feels it. I feel like I've gone through this journey multiple times. I feel like every time I have a new big goal that I go about trying to achieve, I have to go through this process of killing my old self. And sometimes killing your old self wasn't a bad version of yourself. It's just a version of yourself that's no longer suited for the new society or the new ecosystem that you're now in, okay? All of us have lives and we have different chapters in our lives, okay? And in these different chapters of our lives, it requires a different type of person, okay? The person you were at 15 can't be the person you were at 25 unless you have the same goals you had at 25 at 15, okay? All of us have different things we want in life. And even if we have the same goal, there's different processes or stages in getting that goal that takes different versions of ourselves. So we have to go about this pain, okay? It sucks. It feels like you're sick, okay? It feels like I've physically felt this. Like it'll happen for days, weeks, for months sometimes. And you literally feel yourself like fighting with yourself. It's like an internal battle. But what I want to let you know is the reason why I'm telling you it's so painful is don't let this go to waste, okay? This pain that you're experiencing when you're going into the new version of yourself, maybe you're feeling it right now, maybe you're about to as you start to know that you need to become a new version of yourself and you go about the process of becoming that person and you feel that pain, don't let it go to waste because it's going to hurt. But what happens is if you end up going, because what you're doing is you're becoming, but you're not fully killing your old version of yourself. And so if it's still there and you fall back on it to then get back to who you're supposed to be, you then have to go through this pain all over again. And that's not fun, okay? So I don't want y'all to go through this pain all over again, and I also want you to achieve your dreams and your goals, okay? So it's super important that we don't have to go through this again because it sucks, okay? But the next thing I want you to do is make it impossible for you to go back. Oh my goodness, this is a horrible eraser. But make it impossible for you to go back to your old version of yourself. How do you do that, Jamar? Well, you can never make it fully impossible. Like you can always go back to doing dumb stuff. Like I'm not saying like we're literally like putting a gun to the head of our former, like y'all know what I'm trying to say. It's figure of speech, okay? But we have to make it hard for us to go back to those things. What are the things that triggers that old version of ourselves? What are things that makes it easy to do those things that we don't want to do anymore, that we know we shouldn't do anymore? Outline and reflect on the things that make it. Maybe those are friends. Maybe that's certain things you have in your home, in your apartment, whatever it may be, that allow you to remember or feel like that. If it's video games, throw the freaking video game system away. So like for me, for example, one of the times I was going through another chapter of me having to kill the old version of myself, what did I have to do? Cut off certain friends. There's certain people in my life, while they served me at a certain point, maybe that was when I was in college, when my main goal was to have fun, talk to girls, and go to parties, okay? They were great friends for me at that version of me. It doesn't mean these are bad people. Okay? Cutting off people in your life doesn't mean that they're bad people, okay? It just means they no longer serve the new version of you that has different standards, different priorities. You need to cut off certain friends that were only serving that prior version of yourself, or cut off certain friends that haven't grown with you. There's certain friends that were good for this goal, but then it's time for the next one and they're still here, okay? If we're surrounded by people that, you see what I'm trying to say? You have to cut off your friends, okay? Don't cut off your friends. Cut off certain friends, okay? You know who that is. Reflect on it, okay? Some friends are for certain chapters. Some friends are meant for us, but that doesn't mean they're meant for us forever. I have a whole nother video on that where I talk about when to know to cut off friends. Check it out, look at my channel. But you got to cut off certain friends. It makes it easier for you not to go back to habits. If you have a bad habit of drinking, smoking weed, of doing bad things, and that's what that person does a lot, guess what? If you hang out with them, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do that, okay? Very simple. Next thing that I did was I literally, I spelled that wrong, left group chats. Yeah, I love group chats. Like, there are certain group chats I was in. Maybe there's friend groups I was with that I had group chats that the habit was I was constantly checking them. One of my big problems my old self had was I had group chats that were on like do not disturb, but because they're do not disturb, I was constantly checking them and then constantly want to make jokes. And so I was constantly distracted all throughout the day. So I just left the group chats. This is very simple, but this is allowing me not to go back to my old stuff because it's not even an option, okay? So I literally left the group chats and told them, don't add me back. These are simple things. Like, see how simple this is, just leaving a group chat? It's literally allowing you to achieve your dreams and your goals because it's not allowing you to go back to the person that isn't the person that can achieve your dreams and goals, okay? If you're in a group chat that's constantly distracting you from being consistent, okay, what's the priority? Making a joke on the group chat or getting one step closer to your dreams and goals? You got to constantly make those decisions. And whatever is the priority, constantly subtract the things that aren't allowing you to do that as efficiently, okay? The next thing I did was, okay, I got a new phone. And I just want y'all to see how this stuff is very simple. Like, it's not like I'm telling you to do something, but this is me having awareness and doing simple things that makes it hard for me to go back to my old self. Why did I get a new phone? I literally said, okay, I don't want to delete Instagram. I don't want to delete all these apps. There's even some group chats I want to stay in, but I don't want to be on them all day. There's some things I want to keep, but I don't want to be able to have them at my disposal throughout the day. So what I did was I got a new phone. I kept my old phone, and I literally kept all the apps that distract me on that phone and got a new phone that only has business stuff, only has stuff that I'm productive with, okay? This by itself allowed me to stay at the best version of myself because I wasn't constantly going back to the things I knew made me my old version of myself that made me scroll on TikTok, Instagram. I don't really scroll on TikTok. I scroll on Instagram, YouTube Shorts. I refuse to scroll on TikTok. But I just cut off the things that it allowed me. I made it harder to do the things that I used to do, okay? Another thing I did, and it's coming to my mind now, stopped sleeping with my phone in my room. That was literally a game changer for me. It allowed me to go to sleep more, allowed me to wake up in the morning, and I got right to it because I wasn't even first checking my phone. So like now I don't check my phone until I've gone through like 4 different things. I've straightened up my place. I've meditated. What else I do? I go on a walk. I make this YouTube video. Like I do certain things before I even have access to certain things on my phone, before I even look at my phone. This helped. Another thing I did, I don't do this anymore because I like playing video games, but this is something else I did. I'm just giving y'all examples. I put my PS5 in the closet. So when I was writing my book, quick ad, if you ever want all my information, all the things I think that allows you to find your passion and find success within it, I wrote a book, Memoir of My Entire Life. Link in my description. Check it out. But when I was writing my book, okay, one of the best books ever written, by the way. Cop it now so you can be one of the first people that copped it before it became a big thing. But when I was writing my book, I was like, okay, I can't have the video game staring at me because the PS5 be staring at me. I'm like, dang, I really want to play FIFA. Dang, I really want to. And I just couldn't. I put it in the closet. I didn't have my PS5 out for the entire time I was writing my book. Now, that's slightly a lie. I did play it like 2-3 times when my friends were like, yo, let's play it. I need a break. But for the most part, PS5 was in the closet. These are simple things. What I'm not telling you to do is to cut off your friends, to leave your group chat, to get a new phone. What I'm telling you is to figure out what these things are for you that always causes you to be more inclined to go back to the old version of yourself. We have to take away all the things that make it easy for us to go back to the old version of ourselves. So I'm not telling you to like do these things specifically. I'm just telling you to reflect on your life and figure out what that is for you. And figure out what's causing you to go back. Figure out what the things even are that cause you not to be consistent, that cause you not to be at your peak creativity, okay? For me, I know I have to take a walk every single day. So sometimes it's not what We have to stop doing is what we have to consistently do. Like for me, I know my mental gets messed up if I don't go on a walk every day. I know my mental isn't good if I don't work out in the evening. There are certain things I know about myself. I just decide I'm never gonna do anymore. I'm never gonna not do anymore because I know it caused me to go back to my old self. If I don't work out in the evening, then I'm gonna start scrolling. If I don't go work out in the evening, I'm gonna start having anxiety. Those are the old versions of myself that let myself get to those places. I don't allow myself to get to those places. Okay, so it's super important to do that. Now, with that being said, I know I say kill the old version of yourself. That doesn't mean we're perfect beings. Okay, that doesn't mean we're perfect. All right. So what's super important is because this is gonna happen. Okay, I know I talk like you kill the old version of yourself so you never go back. You are gonna go back. Okay, we're all stupid. Okay, we all mess up. Okay, here's what you do when you go back for a little bit. All right, if you go back, make sure you feel, I'm gonna put this on cap, feel it. Whenever I go back to an old habit that I know I shouldn't be doing, whether it's like not working out in the evening, whether it's getting on my phone in the morning, all those things happen every now and then to me. What I make sure I do is, okay, you did it, and then you know when you do something you know you're not supposed to do and you feel like crap, like don't try to ignore that feeling. Feel it as much as possible. If you feel like crap, let's really take this in so we have more and more of a reminder not to be like this again. Okay, every time I do one of those old habits, I do something that I know I've already decided this new version of myself isn't doing anymore. I make sure I feel it as much as possible because you know what that does? It makes you messing up a productive activity. So what I want you to do is when you go back, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up too much. You're a human being. Part of being a human being is mistakes. Okay? But in those moments, use it. Use messing up as an opportunity to feel it. And when you feel how horrible it feels, the next time you think about doing it, you'll feel it. Like you'll be like, oh, remember it was horrible when I did that. So if you make sure you feel it, it makes you be able to do that. So like for me, whenever I don't wake up early, okay, whenever I get on my phone early in the morning, I say, let's feel this. I sit there in my disgust of myself. No, I want to feel as disgusting as possible right now. What else do I do? Sometimes I'll complain instead of having perspective and having faith. So one thing that happens in my life when things go wrong, when I don't get results, when I'm an inspirational speaker, when a school doesn't book me, I'll start complaining, this isn't fair. Instead of saying, okay, what if this is allowing me to have time to do something else? I'm always trying to have perspective. There's always a positive perspective, or sometimes I'm not having faith that everything's happening in due time. Whenever I do that, I start to feel how horrible my mind feels, my anxiety feels. Let's feel this. I always take accountability. The key with always bouncing back, okay, because that's what real consistency is being able to bounce back when you're not consistent, is accountability. You have to take accountability for everything in your life. Even if it's someone else's fault, still take accountability. The person that's able to achieve big dreams, the person that's able to really maximize on their life is the accountable person, okay? So if you're not accountable, even if it's someone else's fault, you're wasting your time on something you can't control. And so when you're accountable, even if most of it was someone else's fault, at least you can do something about the one little part you did have a say in. Everything's an opportunity to grow when you're accountable. When you're not accountable, you're literally wasting your time, okay? Regardless of, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. We only got so much time in this world. So if you want to be able to achieve your dreams, you have to be accountable, okay? So what I want you to know is, and to give you a case to being able to kill yourself. Well, that sounds, I hope YouTube doesn't flag me. Yeah. To give you the argument to be able to basically kill this old version of yourself is to basically understand that it's giving you space, okay? And this is how I'm going to finish the video. What I need you to know is sometimes it can feel harsh. I'm talking weird today. Sometimes they can feel harsh. Sometimes they can feel like, man, I don't want to do this. You like your comforts, whatever it may be. I need you to know the cutting off of friends, the doing the different things that push the old side of you, the old version of yourself away, isn't just negative. It isn't just subtraction. It's also addition. It gives you space. When you kill the old version of yourself, it allows you to attract new things, new habits, new people that you're actually meant for. So every time you cut off a friend that you're not meant for, it gives you space to find a friend that you are meant for in this chapter. Every time you take away a habit that's no longer serving you, it gives you space to collect another habit that is serving you. So when you're subtracting, there will be times when you don't have anything because you just subtracted, but now you have the space to now add, okay? A lot of times y'all want to add habits, but you haven't deleted habits. You can't add new habits if you don't have the space, okay? You don't have any more space on your phone. You feel me? You can't add new apps to your phone if you got full storage. Same thing with your habits, friends, community, whatever it may be. So I need you to know if you ever want to become, you have to subtract. And to be able to add these things and keep these things that are new in your life, you have to not just subtract it, but you have to delete them, okay? A lot of you have deleted old habits, but they still in that recently deleted folder, okay? And they still there, you can still recover from them. You need to delete them old photos, okay? Forever, all right? That's what allows you to become the best version of yourself. If you want to be able to find your passion, if you want to be able to find success doing what you love to do, create a life doing exactly what you're meant to do. Watch more videos, subscribe. I got more videos here to the left. They should be popping up. But thank you so much for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe, or not. Enjoy making the video. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.